Hi everyone, I'm Dan Dilatori. Welcome back to Comic Book Corner. Sorry it's been a while since posting anything. In fact, shout out to my brother Dale who's been complaining about that. He called me the other day. So Dale, this is for you. Stop complaining or get your own channel. Anyway, I wanted to give a shout out, not a shout out, pardon me, a pay my respects to my favorite artist who passed away about a week ago, and his name was Sal Buscema. Sal was a artist for Marvel for many decades. He had an older brother, John, arguably, and I have to admit this, even though Sal was my personal favorite, his brother John was a better artist. But they both worked together for a long time and established a history and made a name for themselves at Marvel. And I got to be honest, it hurt when I heard of his passing. He was 89 years old, so he's lived a good long life. So you can't complain about that. But it always hurts when you lose someone. And in the comic world, I've got to a point in my life where we're saying goodbye to more people than we're saying hello to, and some are more special than others. Just a few comics to show you how much I appreciated Sal Buscema's art. Excuse me. The first comic I ever bought. Excuse me. We're got to get a drink here. Leave a comment in the chat while I refresh myself here. I've been collecting now officially 50 years. I was given comics as a kid, like most people or young people are. But the first comic I ever bought, I still have it. It's beat to death, but it's still here, and I cherish it to this day. Is this one here, Hulk 197? And forgive me if there's glare. I'm kind of working impromptu here. This is a Bernie Wrightson cover, and I knew even back as a child that this was a different take. The artwork was very different than all the other Marvel covers that I'd seen. And of course, I learned later on that he was the creator of Swamp Thing. For whatever reason, he crossed over and did this one. But the artwork on the interior was all Sal Buscema. And this is what started comic collecting for me, because these were made as a disposable medium. You read them and then you kind of tossed them on one side. I was so taken by the artwork, especially what was, for this first issue here. I didn't want to throw it away. I kept it, bought another one, and that's how my collection started. In fact, that's how all comic collecting started. But Sal, with his take, especially on the Hulk, who's my favorite character, really grabbed my attention, and so I appreciated his art. Like I said, he had a older brother, John Buscema, and by the way, his name is pronounced Buscema, not Buscema. I've heard him interviewed more than once, and he pronounces his own last name by Buscema. So there's so many things in the comic world that need to be corrected. Thank God I'm here, because I'm the one of the elder statesmen of the comic world here. So Sal Buscema had a brother John, and he produced this, and I think everyone will recognize this cover. Silver Surfer #4. I say this is the most beautiful comic in Marvel Comics. Beautiful cover, I should say. It's stunning. Now there's that says a lot, because there's so many gorgeous covers in all of Marvel. To say that this is the best of the best, that's quite a statement, but it is. So John was an extremely talented man. Sal, when he was in his heyday, even before that, I should say, he he wasn't given the accolades of his brother John. His brother John worked with Stan Lee, which he did on this one. This is a classic story with Stan Lee and John Buscema artwork. Sal didn't really come into his own until later on. I mean, he was always there. He was accepted, but he was never praised as one of the great artists of the day. Not like the John Romita or, of course, Jack Kirby, and there are countless others and many others, even in the gold, silver, and bronze age, didn't really get their due. Like Gil Kane's an example, an underrated artist. I love Gil Kane art, but he again never got his accolades. Neither did who was it? Marie Severin. Marie Severin, a wonderful artist, but she was one of the few female artists. She never got her accolades until later on. But anyway, back to my tribute to Sal. I being the Hulk fan that I am, I love the team, the Defenders. And I've got a couple comics to show you. These two here. This is when the Defenders officially first got started, unofficially got started. This is a pre-Defender story. Of called Submariner number 34, or named Submariner 34. That's a Sal Buscema cover, and that notates this is a pre-Defender story. This is when the whole thing got started. Sal did quite a number of comics during the Submariner run. Here's the other one here, my favorite. This is the first. Let's put this down very carefully. Issue number 35, where they actually started to formulate a team called the Titans 3. That was the original name of the Defenders. But Sal Buscema was there at the artwork. This is also the first Defenders battle, which the Defenders have beat the Avengers each and every time. But again, look at the artwork. That's very Silver Age-esque, no question about it. Teasing my friend Sith Lordly, which check me out on Spinetix tomorrow night, by the way. We're going to have a nice little chat about that, and this is very, very sweet. He's going to give me a little segment, or a small segment, to pay tribute on his show. But to me, that screams Silver Age here. Gorgeous artwork, simple but beautiful at the same time. It's not overly complicated, and I don't mean to denigrate the new comic world. You younger people who are enjoying your era for the new comics, that's wonderful. If you're entertained and you love the artwork, there's nothing wrong with it. This was my era. This is when I enjoyed it. This is where I actually fell in love with comics. And when I started buying back issues, because being the Hulk fan that I am, I fell in love with this team, the Defenders. Here is issue 9 with the Sal Buscema cover. And look how colorful, fun, and gorgeous that is. And yes, it is signed by Steve Englehart, one of my favorite writers of Marvel. Pardon me. You enjoy that while I clear my throat here. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you appreciate my content. And thanks to Brother Dale, I will be producing more content, because I don't want to be hearing Dale call me every other day and bitch and complain about things, because he will. He definitely will. That's how my brother is. So anyway, love you, Dale. Get your own channel. Look how fun this is. The Defenders issues 1 through 11 are my favorite series of all time. Steve Englehart was a fantastic writer. Still is. He's still alive and still contributing to the MCU, because you see him at the end credits. Sal Buscema had also given contributions to the MCU, so he was still active, in his later years, which is good to see, because with the MCU sort of like going off on different tangents, and I blame Kathleen Kennedy for that. She's an activist. She's an activist, and I'm delighted she's stepping away, because she destroyed, the good fun and the good entertainment that we had. This was a good fun. This is a good-hearted entertainment that we had without little to no politics or no message. We wanted action. We wanted good storyline. We wanted good artwork and imagery. And these eras here, the Silver and early Bronze Age, I say. I mean, I've always said that the 20th era is the last of the Silver Age. I would agree with Sith that it's late Silver Age, early Bronze Age. I think that's fair. I think the last issue of the Silver Age era, and I know I'm kind of going all over the place here, but I wanted to pay my tributes today, because I'm not feeling well. I got a cold, as you can probably hear. This is the last issue of the Silver Age officially. Look at the pop art here. Look at the corner art. That's very fun and Silver Age-esque, and that's a Sal Buscema cover. Look how fun and interesting, and there's a dynamic to this here. It captures the imagination, and Sal was one of the best and most underrated artists of the day. But I mentioned beautiful covers. The Silver Surfer 4 was a gorgeous cover, but this is a Sal Buscema cover, and I say one of the top 10 at least silver covers from Marvel that was gorgeous, and that's Defenders 4. The first appearance of the Valkyrie, when Brunhilde takes over the Valkyrie role, not the one from Avengers 83 or Hulk 142. That was, again, an Enchantress incarnation. This is when the Enchantress actually brings Brunhilde into the fold here, but look at that cover. That's absolutely gorgeous, and that's Sal Buscema at his best. Very, very underrated. As I said, we've reached a point where we're saying goodbye to more of our cherished artists and writers and people that brought us joy and entertainment and inspired our minds. The comics are a different version of science fiction. And when you read this, you can't help but expand your imagination, expand thought, and that's what drew us to them, and why we paid so much money for them. As a child, they were 25 cents when I started, and now they're what, $5, 4.99. I can't imagine being a kid today, but like I said, this one hurt when I heard his passing earlier this week. I wish him and his family all the best. He had a good long life. I never met him. I never met Sal Buscema. But if I did, I would say the same thing that I said to Stan Lee the last moments of his life. I saw him a few months before he passed on. I said, thank you. Thank you for everything. What you did means a lot to me. And I wish you all the best in the future life that you're enjoying right now. But thank you for what you did here. And thank all of you for joining. I appreciate. I'll try to produce more content. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. Just time, life gets in the way, and I'll do the best I can moving forward. Check me out tomorrow night on SpineTix, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 Eastern. That's always a great show, and we'll talk to all of you again very, very soon. Thanks for joining.